You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.
Stop! Where are we going?
The Sternberg!
Don't get left behind. We're waiting for you here at the Sternberg Museum, where there's always new opportunities for
discovery under the dome.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator for early childhood grants for USD 489. And with me today is Monica Ptacek. Good morning, Monica.
Good morning, Dana.
Now, first thing, Monica, tell us what organization you work for and what do you do there?
Well, I work for the Early Childhood Connections Program, prenatal up to age 3, and I'm the health coordinator.
All right. Well, today we're going to talk about something that's very important for parents and adults, foodborne illness. So what is foodborne illness?
Well, foodborne illness is actually an inflammation or an infection that occurs in the GI tract. And the GI tract is anything from your mouth down through your stomach, your intestines, as the food works its way out. So the infection can occur anywhere along the route.
Now, is it bacteria or whatever, how do these things get in your food?
Well, it's really pretty easy for your food to get bacteria in it, and it can occur anywhere during the journey from the farm to your table. And oftentimes it occurs, you remember that outbreak we had maybe a couple years ago with the cantaloupe? That occurred on the farm, so it was already contaminated there. It can occur during shipping, processing, and a lot of times it occurs in our own kitchens. So it can be introduced anywhere.
Now, what are some of the symptoms?
They're very common symptoms: vomiting, diarrhea, abdominal pain, discomfort, fever, chills. So a lot of times people call that the flu, when it's really not the flu.
Now, I asked about how do these things get into our food, and I mentioned the word virus, or is it viruses or bacteria? What's the difference?
Well, it can be bacterial infections, and that's probably the most common. It can also be a virus. Rotavirus is one of the most common, and we now thankfully have a vaccine for that. There can also be parasitic infections, which here in the United States, thankfully, we don't have much concern about because we have the FDA that monitors our food supply. And then the last one are chemicals. You can have pesticides or chemicals that are affecting your food.
Now, I guess the important thing is, how can we prevent these illnesses?
Well, that is the important thing. And they talk about 4 safety tips: clean, separate, cook, and chill. So we'll start with clean. And this is, you rely on your food supplier to make sure that it's as clean as it can be.
You have to go on a little faith.
Yeah,
that it's
we
clean,
have to have some faith.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have total faith.
Yeah.
Even the packages that say washed and ready to eat, you probably want to wash those. But you need to make sure that your kitchen is clean. Your countertops have been washed with warm soapy water, or you might take a gallon of water with a tablespoon of bleach and disinfect those surfaces. A lot of times people don't think about the cross-contamination that occurs. If you're using a knife to make beef stew and you cut up your beef chunks and then you go cut your potato, you can cross-contaminate from the knife to the potato quite easily. So you need to make sure handles that you touch on your refrigerator, the buttons. If you're cooking and making a chicken, I know when I get ready to roast a chicken, I get the chicken, I wash my hands before I do it, then I think, okay, I've got to put olive oil on it. I don't want to contaminate my olive oil. So I wash my hands, then I put the olive oil on, rub it all over, wash my hands because I don't want to contaminate the salt and pepper shaker. So you really have to think about all of those chances for cross-contamination in your kitchen.
So those are some tips and things to give to families. Now, I wonder about, I remember when I have to thaw something out, I'll just, before I leave in the morning, I'll throw it in the kitchen sink to thaw out. Is that okay?
That is not okay, Dana.
Okay.
They have what they call a danger zone for food, and that's anything from 40 to 140 degrees. You do not want your food to sit in that danger zone. So thawing in the refrigerator is, of course, the best idea. And then if you're in a real hurry, you can put your food in a Ziploc plastic bag and put it in cold water. That helps it to thaw quickly, too. So that's another really good food safety tip. And we talked about the clean, but we didn't go through the separate. When you're at the grocery store and you're bagging the food, I got home Saturday, and I always say, please put my meat in a plastic bag. I forgot to say that Saturday, so when I got home, my roast was in the same bag with my lettuce and my onions, and I'm thinking of all the things to put raw meat in with. I did not want it with my fresh produce. So separating, making sure that those things are not together. And the same thing in your refrigerator. Your meat should be stored on your bottom shelf where there's no chance for it to contaminate other things, and then your produce stored separately.
Now, if someone had more questions about this, could they give you a call, or maybe the 4-H Extension office? Who would they need to talk to?
They could call our office, or the Extension office is an absolutely wonderful source of information. Also, there's a lot of information at USDA.gov online. Cooking your meat to the right temperature, making sure things are properly cooked, and all of those guidelines are available at the Extension office or through the USDA.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Monica.
You bet, Dana.
You've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember, you are your child's first and best teacher. Thank you.
You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.